Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Lisa here. I got Miss Rylan for the day. And so we're putting together an awesome recipe for y'all. We are making a extremely budget-friendly, under $1 a serving for this soup/stew. It's a rice, beans, and greens, and it's real flexible. I'll walk you through. You can add stuff if you like, but we're just going to keep it nice and simple, and it's going to be nice and filling and hearty. Because I love beans and rice with some greens on its own, but why not turn it into a soup, right? Yeah. So let me show you the greens. We're going to do everything in the Instant Pot. Of course, you guys know you're going to do it right on the stove. What I did earlier, and you don't have to do it, just increase the liquid by a cup, is I have a half a cup of brown rice and a half a cup of like little small white beans. And I just took some boiling water and I kind of pre-soaked them a little bit for a couple hours, just to cut down on the cooking time. But if you didn't do this, just add an extra cup of water. So I got a half a cup of brown rice, half a cup of white beans. This is gonna make a good 4 servings here. I've got 2 carrots diced up, stalk of celery diced up, half of a medium onion diced, and 2 cloves of garlic. So, I'll put that in there, Rylan. Nice veggies. And this is a vegan soup, because I'm going to use water, but if you had some chicken stock or some homemade vegetable stock, that would totally do as well. So I'm going to drain off this water here from the brown rice. The brown rice is nice with the beans because they kind of cook up at the same time. So we're going to dump in the brown rice.
Oh, brown rice?
Brown rice. It's just a little heartier.
That doesn't look...
It's got a little more fiber than white rice.
That doesn't look like brown rice.
They call it brown rice. It's got a little brown color.
Okay.
And we got the beans. Then for the greens, I had bought some nice fresh collards. I just kind of chopped them up, chippered them. 2 cups packed. You could use kale, you could use spinach, you can use beet greens, you can use rainbow chard, you could use whatever you want. I like the collards and I would like kale because, again, they're kind of heartier greens, so they're going to hold up to cooking for the amount of time for the beans and the rice to be done.
That just looks like a whole bunch of kale.
Yeah, that's collards though. For the seasonings, I've got a tablespoon of fine ground sea salt. I've got 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper and a half a tablespoon of dried rosemary and dried thyme. Put that in there.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I got 3 cups of just some water. Like I said, if you had chicken stock or vegetable broth, that would be good too. Just make sure you adjust the salt if your stock is really salty. And that is it. So I've got everything in here, and I am going to pressure cook this on high pressure for 45 minutes. And we'll check back with you then. I'll show you.
Bye-bye.
Let's show them how you put the, let's see if I can turn this. Well, let me get the camera a little angled better here. The cord was coming out of the wall when I was trying to bring the camera closer, but some of you are asking how to use the Instant Pot. It's real simple. These guys have a lot of different functions on here. In all honesty, I really don't use any of them. I'm just a real simple person. I just do the basic. I lock it in place. You want to make sure your vent is closed. And then it's got a high pressure and a low pressure. Let's see. Pressure cook. And high pressure is what you usually will always cook on. I sometimes will do low pressure for like potatoes or something more delicate. And I'm just going to go up to 45 minutes because that's about how long it takes to cook brown rice and dried beans usually. And that is it. When it comes to pressure, the timer will start to count down. And I will open the pot up and we'll give it a stir and see what it looks like. All right, the soup is done. Rylan and I have been dancing away while it's been cooking, right, honey?
We've had the Alexa on, and we've been
doing handstands and dancing. So this just finished cooking at 45 minutes, and it is delicious. Now, guys, I told you 1 tablespoon of fine ground sea salt. I was halving my recipe so that, because last time with the pasta, I realized that was quite a bit of food. And I wanted to half my recipe, but I realized that I didn't half my salt is the only thing. So you want to do about a half a tablespoon of finely ground sea salt. I put in a tablespoon here. So for me, it's okay. For most people, it's probably fine, but I'm going to add just to thin it down a little bit and decrease the salt. I'm going to put 1 more cup of water. And you can do that as well if you want it more like a soup. The flavor is excellent. All right, Rylan, you're showing off your nails here. So what you can do now, you can have it just as is if you have any kind of leftover meats. Last night, if you've been following me, we had some grilled chicken sausages and a little beans. We had a Nourish bowl. So I've got these little bit of chicken sausages left. I'm going to dice those up real fine, and I'm going to throw this in the soup. So you can put some leftover chicken, some meat, ground turkey, some vegan mock meat if you want to have that. If not, you can have it just as is. And also really nice is to finish it off with a little bit of fresh lemon juice. You don't have to, but it kind of like brightens up the flavor, almost as if you're having almost like a little, you ever had like Greek chicken or something? It's just got that nice fresh lemon in there. I love this when I make like a chicken noodle soup. It's actually a little bit of lemon is nice. You can taste it. You don't have to go too crazy. There we go, Rylan. And you give that a little stir. And I am going to, I'm not quite ready to eat yet. That's what I like about the Instant Pot. You can kind of keep it warm in there or warm on the stove. And I'll dish this up, see what Jen thinks, and if it's approved, serve this a little bread. And you've got, like I said, it's about 4 servings. At most, this is costing me $3, probably less, but on average, it's going to cost you about $3. So 75 cents a serving isn't too terrible, right, Rylan?
Yeah.
So we'll catch you when we dish it up. Jen's home. She's going to do a little taste test. So you can see I added the little bit of chicken sausage I had left over. You guys add whatever you want. You don't have to. It's definitely delicious on its own. And there's a little bit of red beans. That had a nice little pretty color. If you didn't want to use dried beans, you could totally just open up a can of beans afterwards. So red beans or black-eyed peas or white beans, whatever you want. And we're going to have this with some bread. And I got a little taste test for Jen. See what she thinks. She hasn't tried it yet.
Nope. Looks amazing, though.
Scoot back a little bit, honey.
All right.
All right. Rice, beans, and green soup.
Oh, that is nice.
Squeeze a little lemon in there. You can finish it off with a little olive oil or Parmesan cheese would be nice as well.
Got rice in
and
there?
It's got rice.
Oh, that's perfect.
Hearty, huh?
Very nice.
And I got
Nice
some
job.
bread I'll serve with dinner. Is that good?
That's amazing.
Feeling good flavor?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Can you
So-
have my pizza slices at
Delicious.
Burger's?
Yeah, honey, we'll get you some.
I'll call you in a minute.
So, anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember to always eat happy foods. Remember to always make food with love. And, yeah. Make sure you check out, I'm saving this to a playlist. We're going to have a bunch of videos like this. Don't need to spend a lot to eat well. I will catch you soon, my friend. Ciao.
Bye.